I am not the teacher. However, I am a teacher, and I'm not sure what happened. So I'm one of those take charge, let's do something, let's enjoy our time type people. And I just finished a class for stage presence and sales from stage, and I've also been an audio technician for over 40 years, and I teach microphone styles, usage, so that if you ever do have to use a microphone, you understand how it works. What out of auto goes, what would you guys, who wants to see microphone understanding 101? I'm not going to teach you how to run a mixing board. I'm not going to teach you how to do this or that. But at some point, a lot of us have to use microphones, including headsets and things like that. I can cover that in about 10, 15 minutes if you'd like, and then I can finish up with some of the stage tricks that I use.
Okay, yeah, sounds good.
Thank you.
The tricks.
All right.
Thank you.
Wrong place.
No, you're in the right place. He's in the wrong place. You're in the right place. We're always in the right place.
This is by default. I'm waiting for the teacher. As soon as the lady that is supposed to be here shows up, class is over. That's why I'm going with the real quick one.
Oh, so we need somebody to learn how to do something else.
Yeah, we're going to learn something else. And in case you're wondering, my name is TJ.
Welcome, TJ.
And if you want to get more information later on, my website is the tswb.com. The tall, skinny white boy.
Cool.
That is I, and I am he, and all the above.
And you get points for food.
Thanks.
Yes.
Yes,
That's right,
I like to travel with a little poo on my tie. It gets attention.
That's why you're looking at the toilet and say bye to food.
When it comes to microphones, the biggest stipulation that the biggest mistake people make is, I'm holding onto a microphone, they must hear me.
No.
That is not the case whatsoever. And there are multiple different microphones. I'm not going to go into going through the names of all of them. What I want you to understand, the way I help people is, if you take the most basic handheld microphone, everybody's seeing them.
Mm-hmm.
The part that you don't see is what the microphone listens to. The area that it hears. On most of those, it'll look like a little bubble. What happens with that on the mixing board, again, I'm not teaching you how to be an audio technician, but the mixing board has two different settings. One is called the gain. That makes this area larger. The other is the volume. That's what gets sent out to the speakers. The problem with increasing the gain and making this bubble bigger, that's when you start getting feedback. You start getting extra stuff. If people get too close to the speakers, now the speaker gets into this bubble and you get feedback. What a lot of people don't understand is this, depending on the shape or the style of the microphone, you can actually take the standard handheld microphone and hold it like this and get really good volume. And I demonstrate this all the time. I don't have one here, but if you take that same microphone, keep it right here, this one right here. Because of the way the microphone is designed, if you talk here, now you're talking right over the top of this bubble. You're not talking into the bubble. And so when I'm training my students, what I tell them, if you got a hairbrush or something at home, play mirror karaoke. But you stick your thumb out, you put your hand at the end of the brush, and you touch your lip, and that's when you talk. Where your fist is, that's the very top of the microphone. So you want to get used to holding the microphone straight in, talking
Straight
like
in,
this.
you don't tilt it down.
No, when you
Oh,
start,
that's too far down, I know.
Yeah.
I thought it was supposed to be.
the deflection, because when I teach newbies, their tendency is to hold it here. Well, then as a sound tech, we have to crank up that bubble so big that we're going to gather anything. And if you're in one of these places, where are the speakers? So you're not listening to this, you're listening to that. And you'll find, I see it all the time, that's when people are like, whoop, whoop, and now they're frozen right here, and they can't move, and they're afraid. So the other types of microphones that are very common, the wonderful lavalier mic, little clip-on. That microphone, when you look at the bubble, if this is your little clip-on microphone, that is a perfect big circle like that. They're nice in nice quiet places, but you'll find out that they pick up everything. They'll pick up your clothes moving around. They'll pick up the wind coming across. They'll pick up, because that's the nature of them. It's not that it's a bad microphone, but you have to understand the application. So when they're putting the microphone on your person, make sure that it's not sitting under the shelf, so you're speaking out here. Make sure it's not down here where clothes are rustling and brushing up against them. Usually right around the heart is the best place for that, because you have the voice being able to. The only problem with them as well is because when they are here this close, you sometimes will get what I call amplification in the round. Nice and loud, we got some here and there, because we're not keeping it stationary to the mic. To help you a little bit more, some of you have seen on top of camcorders what we call a shotgun mic. And that's those microphones that are long and skinny and out. Sometimes they'll put the fuzzy stuff on top of them. The best way to visualize what that is, here's the microphone, here's your camcorder, whatever. This microphone listens in a very long tube. Almost like if you see balloons that they use, clowns make stuff out of, that's how that microphone listens. Very strategic, very pinpointed, almost like a spotlight. The reason I point that one out is like this one, the microphone on top of this camera. Which one do you guys think this microphone is on this camera? What shape of a bubble do you think the listening is for that microphone? This one is most likely going to be instead of long and short like this, that microphone will be like this, because it doesn't know if it's meant to pick up the ambient sounds. Are you in nature? Do you want to hear the birds chirping? Do you want to hear the things flying overboard? That's why they'll have what is called a mount for a microphone on top of these, so that you can pinpoint exactly what it is you want to pick up. If you've got a podium, a lot of times you'll see that little gooseneck mic that everybody loves to touch and move around, because they think that it's the same as a handheld. Those podium mics are the big, perfectly round bubble. And I've had to coach many public speakers that if you've got one of those types of mics, you can actually stand on the side of the podium. Either side, front or back. You can be my height, you can be this tall, as long as that microphone is there. If they set it up, the environment is completely circumferential around the podium.
Really?
Yes.
Because everybody always
Good.
adjusts.
Everybody.
That's this.
They gotta come up there and you hear the hello, and they figure that they have to stand like this right in front of it. And I see them get so freed up when I go, want to see something cool? Stand to the side of it. We can still hear you. They're like, whoa. This is why I bring this stuff up. Another microphone that is very commonly used, who has headset mics, the ones with the little boom mic? That pattern is going to be almost like a mushroom. And it's designed mushroom facing forward. Same with what I said with the handheld. If it's designed to eliminate all the noise on the back side of the microphone. And I get telemarketer calls all the time, and I blow their mind. I go, are you wearing a headset? Yeah. I'm like, could you raise it up just an inch once? Okay, no, bring it down to where it was before and then drop it another inch. And they'll keep talking, and I go, there, that's the sweet spot. I said, make sure that you remember exactly where this microphone is on your face right now. That's where you sound the best. Yeah, and they can also reduce the volume once they figure out where that position is supposed to be. So if you've got a good friend with a good ear and you've got a brand new headset with boom, call them up and play with it. What sounds better, figure out where that is. Because sometimes off of that boom, the microphone will actually listen at an up scale or down. Sometimes you're gonna look silly as shit because it sounds best when the boom is up here because of your speaking style and microphone design. Is that helping you guys? I want to make sure that you guys got something out of the time here.
Now, let's say desk microphones like Yeti. Is it better sending it up or pointing it towards your face?
Yeti, great. I'm so glad you brought that up. Who owns a Yeti or something like that knows what I'm talking about, the Blue Yeti? These are what we call USB microphones. They plug right into your computer. And the really cool thing about the Blue Yetis and those things, they have multiple patterns. And so on there, you'll see all these cute little patterns on there, and everybody's like, this one's cute, I'll try that one, without understanding what it looks like. So you'll have one pattern, again, that will look like that. That is like the handheld. So that anything on the back side here, it doesn't hear. The reason that you would want that one when it's on your desk is down here, the mic's sitting there, it keeps all of the desk noises quieter. Typing and all that stuff.
Oh, you can't hear that?
It's meant to reduce that sound.
Because you want to be taking notes while you're
While
talking.
you want to be taking notes while you're doing
Right.
it. Another pattern that you will see is, it looks like a double infinity like this. Where that is best used is interviews. It basically takes the microphone, instead of standing it straight up so that everything on the desk is quiet, lays the microphone on its side and gives you two of those long skinny ones with the reach out. So that way, when you're interviewing somebody, you set that microphone in between the two of you, and you face it between the two of you. Now the microphone is listening
Both sides.
on a flat horizontal plane. And I'm trying to think of,
There's a choroidal one that looks like a heart.
So,
yep,
on the Yeti, are all of those features on the one, or is it
yes,
separate?
Yeah.
that's the,
So it has just those two features, or is it just one?
This
yep,
one.
they'll give you a little turn dial, and it'll show you all of the different microphone patterns.
Okay.
And had I known that I was going to be teaching this for you guys today,
Now the bottom one?
I actually have a diagram. You can actually
Can
on
you
your,
email it to us?
I could.
Okay.
Another thing that you could
You want
do,
to pass around an email list?
or if you would like, go to my website, drop me a line.
Okay.
And I would also, if you've got your phones, pull up microphone patterns. And you'll see a couple of different charts that will show all of the different patterns so that you have a visualization of what it is that I'm talking about. And again, if you start thinking about the sound guy in the back, this is the other reason why I teach this, because after being the sound guy in the back for 40 years and people not understanding how the microphone works, I have two settings. Do you remember what they are? I've got what is called the gain that makes the balloon bigger but increases feedback possibility. And then I have the volume of what the microphone has captured that I can send out to the speakers.
So a bunch of stuff comes up with microphone patterns.
Microphone
one.
patterns.
Barb.
Yep. So you're seeing all of these interesting, there you go, that's another great one right there.
One looks like a prostate.
Yes. But that's a super quick.
He's got a different.
So what is your job? What do you do?
So glad you asked.
So glad you asked. I actually, again, if I had known I was doing this, I finally got tired of trying to explain to people what it is that I do, because what I don't do is a shorter list. And so I typed down every profession I've been part of, some of my certifications, and all the classes that I teach, and it only takes up 6 pages.
So now what do you do?
And I'm on version 10 because I sent it to people like my mom, like, oh my God, Mom, I knew that I used to brag that I'm on profession 28. That was the first page. And I'm on version 10 of the list because Mom would come back and go, but honey, what about this? I'd be like, oh. And I send it to my friends. Yeah, but weren't you doing this? After version 10, I'm like, if we haven't caught it by now, it wasn't that monumental.
Here you go, the LinkedIn says a professional problem solver.
Yes, professional problem solver. That's what I call myself. Any other questions on microphones? This is like super slam without any slides or anything. But
So
sir.
on the lapel, there can be like different attachments that you can put on it. There's it's more like fuzzy.
Yes, the fuzzy stuff, the windscreens, the sponges that you put on there, what that protects, thank you for bringing that up. What it protects you from is having the hard hits of the voice, the pop, 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 and all that stuff. If you see recording artists, they'll have a screen with the mic behind it to kind of break up the hit. But the other thing that I wanted to point that out, please, as a 40-year audio tech, when you get a microphone,
Don't do this.
do not go,
Testing.
yes. Just tap it lightly. The reason being, the microphone portion inside of it is actually an electronic device that measures flotation on I'm going to say a rivet. Typically metal, precious metals. Our breath has humidity. And humidity and electronics are not friends. And sure as heck, I watched somebody come up there.
Full of
Is it
spit.
on? I'm like, they're also very sensitive to impact. And I was running AV for a show one time, and one guy had the handheld microphone. He was supposed to walk around and help people with questions. Somebody over there had a question, and he goes,
No.
and in slow motion, I'm going, and the guy caught it. And afterwards, I brought up my friend, and I said, you know that little handheld thing that's in your hand right now? How much do you think that costs? He goes, I don't know. I said, that one is actually $700 alone by itself in your hand. And he went, oh, I went, yeah. It's a good thing I like you and this was a public place or I would have throat punched you. Just saying. And if they would have dropped it, I wouldn't have cared about the public. So you're going to see microphones if you get into looking at them. Some of the microphones used in studios can cost as much as $24,000 for the microphone itself.
Do they do windows?
Huh?
Does it do windows?
It's, yeah, but
Makes people
It's-
you sound like a Jay-Z.
yeah, and it's one of those where, and I've got some very exotic ones. You know the old, I call them the aluminum head Elvis ones, you know, the
Yeah.
real nice crafted one. I have an actual old, from the 50s, of an original in the box, in the shipping box. And I take it out because I've done some custom recordings, and that the sound from that one will actually make your voice much richer and warmer and softer. And that's why those singers, Elvis and those crooners, they use those babies because they get on there and yell, baby, and you're like, oh. And then you hear the people that chimp on, they buy the cheap ones, and you're like, oh God, I can't stand to listen to this anymore.
Chalkboard.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like a chalkboard.
yeah. Well, try being in my profession and having to go, and I feel so bad because I didn't get married till 4 years ago for the first time. So I've dated a couple of times. And some of the poor women that have dated me who have learned about sound are now ruined for live sound. Because they'd be like, I can't hear the guitar. I'm like, yeah, baby, I know. That mic is really muddy. Yeah. Can't you go fix it? No. No, the last thing you do is go up to another sound tech and go, yeah, by the way, it sounds like shit. Could you just teach it? So that's that. Any other question?
Thank you.
This
So vertical on
vertical.
the desk, the Yeti, and which setting would be the best for just?
Perfect, great question. The Yeti does have a swivel mount to it. And the question was, how do you want to use that? On the setting with what you're gonna see in your mic patterns that looks like a mushroom cap, that is gonna be equivalent to the handheld microphone. And so if you are one where you're working in and your computer monitor has speakers in it, you'll tilt your Yeti towards you to block out any of the stuff on the back side. You have, what I want you to realize is you're visualizing the pattern. How are you using the pattern? Just like with the shotgun mic, when I was doing a lot of audio enhancements with my clients, I've got some clients that I play around with. I have a great time. I have them put on headphones, and I've got one of those nice mixing boards that freaks everybody out because it's got all those scary buttons and everything. But I've got 2 shotgun microphones, and I run them through some echo and add some warmth and voice of God, drop in a little bass. And so I like, put your headphones on, and I reach over and I turn those microphones up, and I drop the other one down a little bit, and all of a sudden now I've got that nice echo. You're getting very relaxed, and you're having a great time. I pull them out, and they're like, oh, dude, that was awesome.
I just have 2 things. For information about him, if you go to his website and go to the About Me page, that first button, you'll see that 6-page thing that he was talking about. And this is also the coach that helped me with all of my TEDx's and my stage performances. So
wow.
he's very, very exceptional at one-to-one work and training people. So if anybody's interested, there is your testimony.
You were talking about the interview one, the horizontal one, like for a radio type interview?
Yes.
And so are you saying that's a 2-sided mic, or why is it?
If you could open up the microphone, the Yeti microphone, and have the understanding that I do, they basically have put 3 separate microphones inside of the capsule of a Yeti, which allows them to have the multiple selection of how do you want this microphone to act, how do you want it, what do you want to get from it. And they have 2 opposing microphones inside of the Yeti capsule. And so if you are interviewing somebody, you set the mic right in between the 2 of you, you turn it to the sideways infinity sign, and now the microphones are moving straight up, and you would set the Yeti straight up because that pattern is going horizontal from the microphone.
Because the ones I've seen, they each have a mic, they're sitting with that thing.
Yes.
Yeah. So I was curious.
And when they both have a mic, typically they're going back to a mixing board with somebody,
Mixing.
yeah, that's running it and adding all the other things. And to give you guys a real quick little flash, when you see those mixing boards and you got all these 7,000 buttons on there, and you're like, oh my God, understand that whole thing is for one microphone. And then it's repeated. Typically the top one will be the gain that decides how big the balloon is on the microphone. And on the bottom, there will be a slider or a turn. That's for the volume that gets sent of that microphone. They send it all over to the other side where there'll be 2 sliders. All of these channels go into these 2 sliders, kind of like a beautiful mixture. And the 2 sliders sends everything out as a mix to the amplifiers, to the speakers for you to hear. And so oftentimes, I've worked on mixing boards the size of this table or bigger for large bands. I've run sound for large churches and things of that nature. And I love watching people come up and like, how do you run all that stuff? And I'm like, well, you're looking at the forest. One tree, one tree, one tree, one tree. And so there'll be one for the guitar player, and one for the bass player, and there'll be one for the microphone of that singer, and one for the microphone of that singer, and you adjust all of them differently. And not everybody gets the same amount of volume to the mix, and then you adjust the mix for how loud you want the house to sound. Now I've got about 10 minutes or 15 minutes, something like that. If you all are open to some of the stage usage tricks and speaking tips, I'll be up for that.
Sure.
I've been blessed enough to coach a number of people on public speaking and stage usage. One is here today. She is a 2-time TEDx speaker.
Oh, nice.
And so, yeah.
I used to hate public speaking, and like when I was in graduate school, I had my 2 girlfriends in the back, and they would hold up signs that said "slow down." It would paralyze me. I hated it. And some of the work that he does one-to-one work. So in that, we did a lot of clearing work, and for about an hour, he asked me to say, "Hi, my name is Lenora, and I have something important to tell you." And I could not get this out. And it was just me and him on a Zoom call. I could not get it out. So in clearing your fear of public speaking, you can absolutely do wonderful things and go wherever you want. So if you are anxious about public speaking and you're thinking, "Oh my God, that's not for me," it can be. So you're
Well, performance is just as terrifying.
same thing.
Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you how to help your clients with that part. And I use this for public speaking, anxiety, and a whole bunch of other stuff. And the first thing I use with my clients is excitement, fear, and anxiety. What do they have in common, those 3 items?
Adrenaline, raise your heart.
Adrenaline, they're all the same energy. They're all the same energy. And the way I like to explain it is, if you ever hook somebody up to an EKG and they have anxiety, what's happening on the screen?
Tachycardia.
Fear. Excitement. It's the same. The difference is anxiety. I explain it as being caught in dense fog and knowing something dangerous is out there. I don't know what it is. I don't know where it is. I just know something is out there. Fear is when the fog lifts and you're like,
Oh shit.
there's the saber-toothed tiger right there. But you have something to be afraid of. You have something to deal with. Do I run? Do I
Fight, freeze.
Yes, fight or freeze. You have that ability. Now you can manage it. You can work with it. Excitement.
Yay.
Another way that I explain it is roller coasters. Any roller coaster fans here?
God, no.
No way.
High
Anybody
low
here
jumps.
who hates roller coasters? Yes. Okay, so you take it on a scale of 1 to 10 on the energy scale. 1 being roller coasters are an absolute waste of time. God, you walk up the tangent, back and forth. You sit in a rickety cart, 30 seconds of woo, nobody dies. What a waste of time. That's a 1. 10 is, I can't even watch the damn thing on TV without peeing myself and having a full breakdown. Oh God! And you see the 10s and the 9s because their friends are dragging them along and they're white knuckling the railing on the whole stanchion camel walk all the way up. And they get up there and they're crying, now it's time to get on the cart. And they get in, their eyes were closed the whole ride. There are dents in the bar that hold them from their hands. Their seat is wet. And they don't ever want to do it ever again in their lifetime. My question is, on that scale, Who enjoyed the ride the most? Give me a number.
10.
10? Hell no. 10's about,
Hey, he survived.
yeah, no,
It's gotta be.
yes. The 6, 7, 8. The excitement just before that fear is too much. They're the ones that are screaming like 5-year-olds and throwing their hands up for 5.2 seconds like, ah! Oh my God! Right? When it comes to stage talk, public speaking, it's the same scale. There are people that you mention, yeah, I need you to get up in front of a couple of people and talk, and they're like, just shoot me now. No, I'm just gonna, no. And then you get people that are like, that's no big deal, but they get up and they are so boring, and they're so dry, and they're just like, yeah, I've got some facts for you, here it is, and I hope you like it. I'm like, are you done yet? Okay, cool. You have to have that level of excitement as well. And so when I work with my clients, I tell them what I want you to do. I hope you have energy. I hope you have the jitters. I hope you have excitement. And tell yourself, I am so excited. Change that energy into excitement so it's something that is usable. And if you get up on stage and you have a huge amount of excitement, what's the best thing you can do? I am so excited to be here. This is awesome. I am just pumped. Let's do this. Let's go. All right, come on. I'm going to use the stage and I'm going to burn it out a little bit so that I can get back down and start sharing information. And what happens when you have excitement and energy? Kind of infectious, ain't it? Fun. Boogie cue. The other part beyond that is once you start getting used to being on stage, then you start understanding the nuances. Part of why people are so afraid of speaking on stage, judgment. Everybody's looking at me. What are they thinking? And so I tell them, I want you to place 5 of your best friends, family, loved ones that you love and trust. I want 5 of them in the crowd, in strategic places. There'll be one here, one there, one there, and one there. That's all you're talking to. You're not talking to the masses, but I want you to remember, don't leave your friend, don't leave Aunt Thelma out, don't leave your buddy out, and you keep looking around so that you can remember to move your eyes around. The fact that there's 300 people listening in, who gives a shit? Speak to the people that matter. Tell them what you know. Give them the information because you care about them. We've all been in big groups. I like asking, have you ever gone to a concert? Yeah. How many people are there? 6,000. How many people do you go with? 4. Okay, so if I took those 4 people and spread them out, but you could talk to them backstage, where's your anxiety level? How about if you got to get out on stage and you got to talk to just those 4 people on your telephone? Anxiety level, it's a little bit higher, but it's manageable. Well, the phone died. So you got to give them some important information. And the only way you can do it is to use the microphone. A little bit higher, but you're just giving the information to the 4 or 5 people that you care about. So you're talking on the microphone. And now you don't know who the information has to go to. So you're just giving information. Somebody out there needs to hear what you're saying. Hi, my name is TJ, and I've got something very important to say. And you work yourself up from there. And I've had people, I did weddings for 18 years. I've been to more weddings than any straight single white guy should ever have to be subjected to. Holy shit. And I had to prep all of the people for the toast. And I always told them, there's going to be a lot of people here. There's going to be a lot of people you don't know. Don't talk to them on the mic. They're just eavesdropping. Talk to the 4 or 5 people that your talk is actually for.
So then you can leave them with their clothes on, you don't have to make them naked.
Yes, and I don't do that either, because I'm visual, and some of them are visual, and they're like, and now I can't talk to anyone.
Right, exactly.
Depending on the audience, they might be gross out.
Yeah.
Geez.
Right?
We're running very short on time. I want to share a couple more quick things. I've already done this one technique 3 or 4 times, and you guys probably didn't catch what I was doing or why I was doing it. When it's time to take a question, regardless if your stage is as big as I've got here or even bigger, what you want to do when you see somebody raising their hand, like when you raised your hand, did you notice what I did?
You turned to me and took a step.
I turned to you and I said, and you have a question.
To open it up.
To open it up. Why else?
So I have to speak up.
What?
So that everybody can hear what's going on?
What I've done is a couple of different things. The biggest mistake people make is they'll see that you've got a question, they'll go, and you have a question?
And then I talk too softly and nobody else can hear.
Yes, you'll talk very quietly. And do you guys feel included on the question?
No.
No.
No? And so what I'll do is I'll move back, even if I take 2 steps. That little feeling, now you feel like you have to speak up and articulate so I can hear you. You guys feel included in the question. That makes sense?
Yeah.
And if a few of you were at my talk earlier on trifecta, talk, 3 match questions, values and criteria elicitation, you echoed the question back. And a lot of times it's, well, we're small and I'm sure they heard.
You check understanding.
It's checking understanding. And oftentimes if I'm wearing a mic, the chances that the mic heard what you said, minimum. So I repeat the question so that the recording has the question. So it's not one of these, and you have a question? Yes, purple. And everybody looks.
Do you have anything on moving around on stage? Let the people around.
If you want to get into the nitty-gritties and all of that stuff, and you start watching political talks and all these other places where things are used, the trained ones, you can see the trained ones that will pick a side of the stage for the bad stuff and a side of the stage for the good stuff. Anchoring. And they'll be like, and if you choose me, we're going to have Nirvana and everything's going to be awesome, but of course if you choose Loser Boy, things are going to be horrible and the world is going to come to an end. But if you look at all the great things that I'm talking about, you're going to love all this stuff, and you watch them. They'll be using this hand for all of the amazing stuff that we're getting promised. You're going to love this. But of course, if we're on the other side, we're over here in the Loser Boy, you'll also see this in courtrooms. Yes, because they'll be talking, my defendant is such an amazing person, and these bad cops are just putting it into a horrible light, and you only understand how nice this guy is. So again, you guys got a 3-day training in 35 minutes.
Yeah. Look over, money,